I need to unmute.
Give me 1 minute. Yeah. Hey, Mary.
Knew it was here, but I drove straight. County.
You're ready.
Okay, everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the April 9th meeting of the Travel Council Advisory Board. We have a packed agenda today, so I'm going to turn it over to Ben real quick for 1 minute, and then we can go around and do introductions.
Yes, this is everyone, or you may or may not know, Robert Bavaria retired a couple weeks ago. And we invited him to the meeting today to give him some recognition, and he had things going on and he respectfully declined. But what we wanted to do is pass around a card that everyone could sign and wishing him a great new chapter after the 25 years that Grant County is very grateful for. And we're going to also add a nice dinner gift certificate for Robert and Rhonda. And we know a really nice restaurant. We don't want to show favoritism, so we will get that later today. But anyhow,
So we know
I
where
want to pass this around so that everyone could sign. And like I said, it would be nice to be able to tell them in person, but 25 years at anything is pretty remarkable. And constantly getting comments about neat stories along the way and things he did. So he was a great asset to the county. So I'd like to pass that around.
He was always so pleasant and easy to work with too.
Yeah. All right, that was it.
That's it? All right, let's start with introductions. Alex, why don't we start with you and just go around?
Cool. Yeah, I'm Alex Borchevsky, board member. Restaurant owner.
Board member.
Cindy Leeson, board member. I'm Shaylee Brandt. I am taking over the chamber seat for just the foreseeable future.
And Gabrielle, ED.
Ashley Hornblatt.
Mary McGann, Grant County Commission.
Kate Finley, ED.
Melissa Stocks, Assistant Marketing Director.
Brian Hunnings, board member and chair. Okay, with that, is there any? Oh, yeah, Brian Martinez.
Brian Martinez, citizen.
Citizen at large. Any conflicts of interest that anyone needs to be aware of? Any disclosures? No. Okay, with that, let's move to the first item, which is board member reports. Alex, how about start with you?
Sure. 2024, it's looking pretty good. A lot of things. Tobaccio's up from last year a little bit. 98's down a tiny bit, but I'm guessing that it's because of we don't have our patio open. So that's 25 seats that can't sit right now, and for the foreseeable future. So I bet it would be pretty close to on par or a little bit above, similar to Sushi Bar. And sentiment is good. I feel like the Jeep Safari seemed a little probably average on the last couple of years as far as attendance. It was a different time for maybe it was a lot earlier this year than last year. Our first spring break week was pretty strong last week. So especially through the weather spring and yeah, lots of good things to look forward to. I think this fall is going to be good. It's just feeling not too bad.
Okay.
Was really busy, and we were fairly busy last month. This week is kind of slowed down. We're assuming it's because everyone was out of town for the eclipse. But other than that, things are going okay. The construction on Center Street is hampering and hurting us. We haven't had a bus try to get in there yet. I had visitors from Rocky Mountaineer in today. They're starting up in 2 weeks. Usually their bus comes in and drops people off at the neck. He is actually going to do a trial run with the bus the day before anyone comes to see if they can even get into the parking lot. And if they can't, have to try to figure out a different place for them to unload. I did tell him when he let me know when he's coming, and we'll make sure that a couple of the big vehicles are parked out in the street so that we can actually do a real test and see if they can turn in. Other than that, that's what we're watching right now is that Center Street parking. It's a mess. I've witnessed myself about 3 near misses with people, because they come off Main Street faster than fast, and then people are trying to back out. You probably see it all day long. When you come out of the Mick parking lot and you need to go west, when you come across, you cannot see if anything's coming from the east until you get in front of someone. The other thing people are doing, I witnessed the other day, I had to go walk over to the bank. As I was coming out, someone coming out of the bank turned left against traffic until you could get to the center part where you can actually cross across and then go east.
So they're
So
going the wrong direction. So
luckily there was no one coming. But it's not,
It's only gonna be a matter of time.
but yes, it's only a matter of time that someone gets hurt. Yesterday, there were people getting out of vehicles and coming to the back, and the car just whizzed right by them. So I'm concerned about people getting out of cars and then having to try to get across the street
Oh.
to get into the MIC, or even on the other side, going to the businesses on the other side. I'm really concerned about the handicap space that they have in the middle of the road. Because then handicapped people have to try to get across. And I'm kind of seeing how they're trying to do it, but they're trying to have them come out, go all the way down the sidewalk to the crosswalk and then over. But I'm not sure how many people will actually do that, or if they will just try to get across.
Or if you park in the center, you have to cross the street.
You have to.
There's no crosswalk.
Yeah.
Like they have not established that.
So that's our main concern right now. So the other thing is on Facebook, the other day, someone was complaining about us watering the grass at the MIC. We will continue watering the grass at the MIC because it is a green spot. People do enjoy having their lunch on our lawn. People love, and locals, everyone loved sitting there for car show or Jeep safari or any of the parades. We are not going to tear the grass out at this time. So
They say you don't need to tear grass out if it's used for other than just mowing.
Oh, yeah.
All you do
We
is
use
mow it, but that piece of lawn is used a lot.
yes,
So it should be, it should stay,
thank you, Mary.
my one. Just say.
We'll stick Mary on them for you.
Okay,
So Red Tail, we were slightly down from 2023, for March for snake flights and airplanes. Helicopter is up 30%, but it's probably because we acquired Moab HeliX. That's what we're attributing it to. We're seeing a good demand for April through June for reservations coming in. And, gonna switch over to airport side. It's not the best news about the airport overall, with contour flights. I'm optimistic, that's new, but Enterprise reported for March, his sales last year were like 30,000 and they were 5,000 this year. And Red Tail for March, we're down 90% from last year with contour sales, because they purchase fuel twice from us. But we do have a meeting with Contour this week. And I'm gonna talk to them, as well as Vernal's having a meeting with them because they're not purchasing fuel at the moment with Contour. So Contour and Vernal. So hopefully we're gonna come to a better understanding or communicate a little bit better. But just when they're starting to do those 3 turnarounds in a day, hopefully they'll start purchasing fuel. But it wasn't a good start to Contour for the airport overall. We're down. I'm optimistic.
So Chamber of Fountain Director, they start on the 17th, and Cassie Oliver. We're so excited. That was very excited face. Right now she's at the hospital. She is like local, she's born here. She lived in Montrose and managed the Wells Fargo branch. Took a long while, knows a lot about business banking, so. I'm happy about it.
So
So
does
then,
she start?
sorry,
When does she
that was
start?
17th. I have personally been talking to quite a few businesses. I am hearing people are a little bit more optimistic than they were last year. However, like the food trucks, which I'm attributing also to the weather, are down. So they're feeling a little concerned right now, because just don't want another repeat, but I think people are still feeling a little negative about 2022, so hopefully we start to see some turnaround on that.
Well, just on your traffic piece and Sharon was saying, last night attended a citizens, I guess, active, active group, on the most dangerous main street in the US or in Utah, which was put on by, Karen Guzman and Kevin Dwyer at the library. They're trying to get this thing presented. Very interesting statistics that they have. One, kind of to what Sharon was saying, is the map across 2 lanes of traffic, what the rate of crossing 86 feet with the speed of what's coming at you 2 directions, and some of the proposals and some of the issues. Ironically, I left the office, Melissa and I met late last night, worked on some stuff, and ran to wash my car, and the lights were set up so much that the opposite side was empty. I saw a bunch of people pointing, looked in my rearview mirror, and there was a deer running down Main Street, which was freaked and jumped out of the traffic and ran right into a parked car, which I think was not his favorite moment, which probably had to scare the heck out of the people on the sidewalk. Drove down around the corner by City Market, there was a dog with a leash that was loose running through all 4 lanes, so hopefully all those survived. But that was a very interesting talk. They're trying to kind of get exposure for that. You know, they're trying to get in with the county, the city. The city hasn't been quite as welcoming. I think they'll be speaking at the citizens to be heard tonight at the city council meeting. So that's going on. Trail to tomorrow. Strategic plan, we had 4 more user groups this last week to close it out. There were 4 add-ons that Sky and the steering committee really pushed to get added. I think it was really good. We had the downtown retailers. Melissa, Sky, and myself had worked with Mark Finley earlier in the week. We're working on possible script scenarios for his next visit. We've got 3 videos contracted with him, and one thing we said is we'd like to highlight downtown, the restaurant scene, the retail scene. So when he's here, probably end of May, that will be one of the main subjects, is to get down and not necessarily be up in the landscape and the recreation, but more about Moab, the Moab experience and what's available in town. So we're starting to really try and pivot to that. And I think other than all the operations and doing some transition stuff, I think we're pretty much going just full speed. Oh, one thing I met with Ashley last week, we talked about what we're going to talk about today. I'm a believer that when I hear something from a bunch of different people a few times, I should start paying attention. We talked about PR firms, started with you, and then I heard it some other places, so we're actively searching out PR firms. The next thing was influencers, which we started talking about. Ashley and I started talking about influencers, and I've already found a wedding influencer, and so when we get to that point in that discussion, we're really in the headspace with that model as well.
Anything?
No, I mean, I'm going to talk about that a little bit.
Right.
We had a very short commission meeting last time, which was lovely, but it looks like it's lining up to be a very long meeting next Tuesday. I just wanted to talk briefly about the parking on Main Street. Is I remember very clearly when they changed the parking down by the ballpark. And all the concerns that are being raised now were raised then. I mean, people were really against it. And it's turned out to be safer and slower and working well. So my prayer is that the concerns that we had back in the day when Dave Olson pushed the changing of the parking down by the ballpark. And it's ended up being, and statistically, the narrower the streets are, the less accidents there are. So statistically, you know, the studies, so I'm hoping, but I think we should be aware of it, but my prayer, my hope is that these are unfounded concerns and that it turns out to be as nice as the parking in front of the library and the thing. So
Mayor.
that's my,
And I just say, I understand, but it's different down by the library because it's only one section that's parked this way, not two. There's only one.
that's true.
It's only one. So when you're going west, you can park this way, but not coming east. The other thing is, you're not buying Main Street there. People are
Well,
coming on.
I hear your concerns.
Yeah,
and I
people are
think
coming
they
off
might
Main
be
Street.
legitimate. My prayer is,
The only thing is, I mean, I can see that might help is changing the speed limit through there to 15,
oh, I think.
which I don't think they'll do.
That's good.
Because they're going fast. And how they get going so fast after coming around the corner or even from the stop sign at 100 East. They stop at that stop sign by your place and they come barreling down there.
Well, there isn't. I mean.
Oh, no, there isn't. That's right.
Coming down Cedar Street.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming fast.
They can't go there right now.
No, I know.
I
walked
hope
by
I
there.
didn't come across as discrediting your,
No,
what you were saying. I hear what you're saying. I valid concerns. I just wanted to say that I just remember the uproar when we did the other change. It was pretty.
Change is always hard.
One thing that's interesting, and I talked to people before the study, but 35% of the traffic through Main Street are commercial semis. Coming back the other night, Sunday night, just from 8:30 to about 9, I just for fun counted the semis on the other side of it were 65. I was trying to think, what would happen if you lined up 65 semis back to back? How long would that be? And so you have our Main Street, which is a problem. They kind of pointed this out last night. You have our Main Street, but you also have a commercial transport model that these are two things very much in conflict. So without putting any bias or anything, just the statistics are interesting. We should at least know what they are.
Mary, anything else? No, Kate? Melissa? No, Rebecca? She's muted. There we
Hey,
go.
can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. I'm up in Park City right now. Yay.
Ooh,
Much colder up here. It's nice though. I mean, we did really well on Jeep Safari. That was fun. I actually went out with a couple of the other hotels and we went ducking the Jeeps in town. Left hotel information on there with coupon to our bar and lounge with the little rubber ducky. If you don't know what ducking is, the Jeeps collect the little rubber duckies. It's like an act of kindness. So we went out and did that and had a lot of fun. Buses are starting to come in. So season has hit full swing for us. So we're looking forward to having our groups back and weddings being a new thing for me at the hotels. I didn't have to deal with that at the other hotels, but we're getting a lot of weddings booking at the Element. So that's great. So I'm glad we're kind of focusing on the whole wedding thing. It gives me more opportunity to do that at the hotels and see what happens with this marketing. But that's all I got.
perfect. For Red Cliffs, we had an exceptionally busy Jeep Safari / Easter week. We were up roughly about 20% year over year. Granted, we didn't have that Easter or Jeep Safari week in March last year. And it's kind of tapered off a little bit this week. If you haven't heard, we are in the process of becoming white labeled and joining the Marriott portfolio. So we're in the process of doing that. So we will soon on July 1st, we will start accepting Bonvoy and all that jazz, and we'll be in the Marriott thing. And then we have a rush to completely renovate the entire property in 15 months. So it should be fun. And then we will relaunch as Red Cliffs Moab. Interestingly enough, when Marriott approached us, we were approached to also create or spin off Red Cliffs as a brand in the Marriott portfolio. So our ownership has acquired properties in Bryce Canyon, Zion, Sedona, Grand Canyon, and then of course ourselves. So we are in the process of creating the Red Cliffs brand through Marriott.
Very cool.
And that will grow in parks and national park locations as things go along. So kind of a cool thing coming up. The cool part about it though is we get all this intel and stuff from Star Reports and this thing called Lighthouse OTA, which basically connects to, if you're a branded property, we can pretty much see where town is now. So for instance, this week, town is roughly at about 75% occupancy from those branded hotels that are reporting, which is down 7% year over year. Now keep in mind, also a lot